Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here at the Center for Global Management at UCLA Anderson. I'm Charles Turner. I'm happy to be here and joining you as your moderator for this series. The Expat series is a new series for the center, and we have a lot to share with you. I'm going to dive right into the topics, and we have a lot of information as it relates to what an expat is and the opportunities that you as students or as alumni have in being an expat. To get started, though, I do have a few ground rules I do want to share with you all. First off, that this series and UCLA more broadly, you look at our U.S.-China relationship is a long and deep one, and with any relationship, there can be complexities and areas of disagreement, especially within a community as diverse as UCLA. These differences are understandable and appreciated. We're hoping to build on the positive channels between USA and China. And this series is in an area of mutual interest, both innovation and healthcare, especially in the areas of social need. We hope that these will further help each of us in our leadership journey and to help you build a deeper understanding. As such, we will be focusing the discussion and the related Q&A on areas of international career development and healthcare innovation. And we're going to be avoiding political and polarizing topics, which could derail us from the important insights and learnings we have set for our objectives. We appreciate your understanding and alignment around this vision and for this series and all of those objectives. So thank you very much for your participation today. Now, getting into our session, let me just start off by saying this is a new topic for us all, but we think it's something really important for the center as we look at the future of the world. We recognize that being a global citizen is really important. The center itself has many objectives overall. And one of those is that we become more responsible world leaders here at UCLA Anderson and well-rounded global citizens. As part of that, we're supporting it by launching a new series, the Expat series. And its objective is to link alumni and students to share global insights and experiences. Through that linkage, we want to engage in the global alumni to share their experiences and insights. And we want them to provide perspectives on pursuing short-term and long-term assignments abroad. Now, if you think about our alumni network, it's quite vast. We have over 40,000 alumni, 4,000 international alums at over 27 international centers or chapters. So a vast array of opportunities in bringing back our alums to meet with our students and vice versa for our alums to understand our perspectives from our students and have that open dialogue to broaden and make more well-rounded global citizens. So starting off, you might be wondering, well, what is an expat? And what does expat mean to being a global citizen? For many people, it might be the traditional definition of an expat comes to mind. And we want to debunk that myth that has changed dramatically over the decades. Before the 2000s, traditionally an expat was someone who was sent overseas by a headquartered operation, a multi-nation enterprise, and they would go one direction. They'd go from headquarters out to the field, and that person in the field would then get assigned to work on different projects and assignments. With that commitment by the enterprise, there would basically be an agreement that this person would go overseas for multiple years. Traditionally, these were male-dominated roles. These were senior leaders that are middle-aged, senior level, and they would basically be single income. It'd just be one head of household sent overseas for 2 to 4 years, and they would do that assignment knowing their plans are to come back and take over an operation within the headquarter operation. Well, times have changed dramatically. The modern definition of an expat is really that people are seeking out knowledge opportunities, and corporations are also trying to meet their needs in knowledge development. They're sending people around the world, and people are volunteering to go around the world. Those opportunities are presented in many different forms. and in different modalities. So people are now going in all types of directions, whether it's from headquarters out or from one country to another country, or from different angles from working directly with the customers or working within the operation. Also, many ages. People from every age of the spectrum are now being expats. And it's also all genders. No longer a male-dominated role. Women are really leading the charge and becoming expats and bringing their whole entire family and bringing all forms of families, whether multi-generational or just the dual income families. All sorts of family types are now becoming expats. And ultimately, the duration has changed. With the world going mobile, people are more flexible in what they expect. Corporations are adapting to that. Assignments are becoming shorter. It could be anywhere from several weeks to multiple years. All of those things have changed. So basically, an expat has become a very fungible role, and they change between different organizations and different people's needs. Our goal of this series is to introduce many people who have different backgrounds and experiences and introduce that to students and alumni so they can also imagine for themselves how that might be an opportunity for themselves. Overall, there's 88 million expats as of 2021 and growing. You might ask, what's the value of this? In general, international experiences gives you a lot of more opportunities in your career. This is just a few of many excerpts from research papers and publications that talk about the high value of having international experience for your career trajectory, particularly if you're seeking out senior leadership roles. That ability to navigate complex global challenges and bringing that into the perspective of the senior team is invaluable. And people that have that possession and bring that get the stamp of approval when it comes to selecting senior leaders. So just a little bit of research to help set some context. In a study done by BCG, they looked at overall 23% of people around the world are seeking opportunities anywhere they might be. That translates to over 800 million professionals in the world are seeking out jobs abroad. Now, obviously, not everyone can do a job abroad, but what's really interesting is with the internet and with the power of mobile devices and technology, people now can see those opportunities and those possibilities. And there's just more desire for people to find opportunities beyond their own border. And now some of the facts and figures related to that, some of the reasons that people do go are driven by finances. They're looking for a better financial opportunity. They're also wanting better career opportunities. And finally, they want a better quality of life. But there's also a lot of reasons why people don't go. And those reasons are highlighted here. And they're what we would traditionally imagine. It would be the inability to bring your family members with you as an impediment to go abroad. You might also have a strong attachment to your current country. You don't want to leave. You just love where you live. Understandable. And then also there's cost of relocating is quite heavy for many people. So those are some of the reasons why people do go, some of the reasons why people don't go. This is just a list of some of the countries that people find most desired to go to. Again, this is just a study by BCG, but this gives you a time series of the 10 most desired countries since 2014 to present. I think what's interesting from this graph is a lot of English-speaking countries dominate. People just find the English language as being kind of the global language for business. But for many of the people that are in the developed nations feeling comfortable, they are kind of migrating or dabbling with expat to another country that all speaks English. It reduces the challenge of the language barrier. But the other part about this, what I find interesting is that Australia went from being 7th ranked 10 years ago to now number 1. So they've had a real good push. A lot of people seeing Australia as attractive. But what's also really a highlight in this to me is that the Asian countries are also doing very strong. Japan has navigated up till rank number 6. And we also now see Singapore as a desired location for people around the world and continuing to be very strong in attracting talent globally. And finally, I just want to highlight some of the cities that people are seeing as most desired. No big surprises here other than it's a diverse set, whether that's in Europe or in Asia or in the Middle East or South America. There's very large metropolitans where people are finding most attractive opportunities. today we're going to talk a lot about Asia. So it is good to see that in this list we have Singapore and Tokyo in the top 10, but also some new ones. Bangkok is number 17, and we have Beijing at number 25. We have Kuala Lumpur 26, and Osaka is a new one on the list at number 30. So many Asian cities are being seen as desirable places for people to consider and pursue as opportunities. And with that, I want to just give you the kind of context of where people are seeing opportunities, what are their targets. And then last but not least, Los Angeles. It's right there, number 12. So we're right there in the middle. This is also a great place for expats. So as people come here, they see opportunities, but there's also opportunities to go other places. Our first guest, we're really excited to introduce to you because she's done both. She's worked overseas. She's worked here in Los Angeles and has a great journey and story. And it might be similar to many of you, but really unique for many. So with that, I wanted to stop sharing my slides and give you an opportunity to get introduced to our speaker. So if I could, Yin, if I could have you come on video. Hi, Yin.
Hi.
So everyone, this is Yin. Yin is also a board member. I'll just introduce myself really quickly. A little about the Center for Global Management and our roles here. I joined, so I'm Charles Turner. I'm a member of UCLA, both a EMBA 2023 graduate, and I also happen to work at UCLA. I work as executive director in finance, organizational services, and work in sustainability. And I've been privileged to join the board of advisors for the Center for Global Management. Yen is also a board member and an alumni, and we have a great opportunity to get introduced more about her background and her story. But with that, I wanted to just let everyone know that we are part of the center, and this is a great place for you to begin your journeys as global citizens, lots of programs, and we'll talk more about that mostly in our Q&A session. So please stick around for the whole session because we'll talk about ways in which you too can broaden your horizons, get opportunities to access global markets through offerings through the center, in addition to learning more about being an expat. So with that, I have a few questions for Yen. Yen, you ready to go?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. So I just have a very simple overview for Yen. Yen has got an amazing journey. I want her to say it in her own words. But she is an alumni here at Anderson, and she's has a passion for healthcare field, and also has a passion for growing her teams, leading teams in multiple areas, and has done that across Asia. So I find it really fascinating. Without me reading your whole bio, I'll let you kind of do it in your own words. So why don't we just get started with the first question, Yen? So can you share about where you were raised and your journey leading up to pursuing your MBA at UCLA Anderson?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good evening, whenever you're at. So my name is Ying, full-time MBA 14. So I was born and raised up in China, where I went to school and started my first professional journey at Deloitte Shanghai. During my school years, I got the opportunity for a few international exchange programs where I went to places like Japan, US, and Eastern Europe. So I think those experiences not only provide me opportunities to make new friends, but also really fueled my curiosity to the world. And my work at Deloitte provided me a lot of great opportunity working on the multi-country projects where I was able to work with colleagues from the US, Middle East office, etc. And I think that journey really helped me to learn a great deal of handling the global transactions and how to work in the multicultural dynamic. And I think that also helped me to realize the importance of really understanding and bring the world perspective in the leadership and management. And I think at that time point, it was really triggering me to further push myself and pursue a MBA. Because I saw this as a great opportunity to really gain the skill set and in-depth my understanding of the management and leadership in order to lead more effectively in the future in the global state. And I think I consider myself extremely fortunate to have joined UCLA Anderson because it has been an incredible journey of the personal and professional growth. And I think I'm now very excited about the continuous opportunities that it opens up to me.
That's great. Thanks, Yan. So reflecting on your time at UCLA Anderson, what were some of the most impactful lessons or experiences that have stayed with you throughout your career?
Yeah. So I think one of the highlights is definitely the opportunity that I had to collaborate with Lucy and the Center of Global Management in organizing the Wilbur Wu Conference, the Wilbur Wu China Business Conference back in 2014. And I think that was the first year we actually established a very close collaboration with the broader UCLA community. And we were able to bring fantastic speakers and also hundreds of engaging audience to attend. And I think that event really showed our ability to foster a connection among different industries and across borders. And regarding the courses, there are quite a few that really has lasting impact on me. And I think the first one I'll say is definitely the global operations by Professor Chris Tam. And I think the cases that we discussed in the class, like the business giant, Zara, Toyota, how they leverage strategically of their global resources to optimize business operations, and also the real world cases that Professor Tang always brought into the class, make it extremely, interactive and relevant. And I think that class really reshaped my understanding of the global operation supply chain. And I think to me, an equally important class is People in Organization, taught by Professor Samuel Corbett. That one is more like focusing on the humanistic aspects on the leadership. And I think to me, it's interesting as the learnings on the international, interpersonal dynamics, and also the effective communication definitely stays with me across my career journey. And I know there are more new courses offered by UCLA. So honestly, I'm super, super jealous of what you're having now.
Yeah, we can all envy the students, and also there's always opportunity to audit, Yan. So you can jump on in anytime you find some free time in that schedule. So let me dive a little deeper. I know you've moved into Amgen. So what were some of the influences that shaped your decision to enter the healthcare field?
Yeah. So when I was in Deloitte, I had the opportunity to work across different industries as I was a generalist in the management consulting area. And healthcare was one of it. And healthcare really stood up to me because of its uniquely complex of bringing the scientific innovation, but at the same time also bringing the really the hope to patients and the families. So I think when I entered into Anderson, I was really trying to in-depth my understanding of healthcare and exploring opportunities in this field. So I got a lot of conversations with my classmates and alums about who has been experienced and working in this industry, and also attended tons of company corporate presentation, roadshows, and events organized by all the healthcare associations, etc. And I remember I also attended a course offered by the medical school that is called a U.S. healthcare system. I think all of these experiences really helped me to deepen my understanding of this field and also reinforced my passion into this field. And I'm very fortunate to secure an internship at Amgen during my MBA and receive a return offer to its global leadership rotational programs. And now I'm already 10. I just celebrated my 10-year anniversary with Amgen. So here we are.
Congratulations. That's fantastic. So can you tell us a little about how the opportunity to work in Asia came about?
I joined Amgen at its headquarters in Thousand Oaks. And during my rotation, one day there was people speaking about working opportunities in Asia. Because at that time, Amgen was expanding its footprint into the Asia Pacific region. And I thought that was really exciting. I mean, although a lot of uncertainties at that time because it was so new, no one knows how it works. But I just feel it is so exciting, to be part of the fantastic chapter of the company's growth journey. And also it aligns with my personal aspirations, getting the opportunity working in a very fast evolving dynamic, and also contribute back to where I am from. So I applied for it and embraced everything. And I think it was very rewarding, although very challenging, but deeply, deeply rewarding experiences. So I had the opportunity to lead and execute on the deals, launched the products in many countries, Singapore, Thailand, Japan, etc. And also I was able to help the team grow from a very small office to an organization that has hundreds and thousands of people. So to me, it's just a fantastic journey.
But that's really impressive. And it seems like a lot happened all in those last 10 years, but a lot of it right away for you. And so obviously you must have come up with some obstacles along the way. So can you describe some of those key obstacles you encountered as an expat, really? Obviously you had a lot of other challenges, but as an expat, what were some of those? And what are the strategies you used to overcome them?
Yeah. So I think working or entering into a new environment, there are always a lot of things that we have to learn. And to me, like in Asia, I know that personal connections are highly valued, even in the workspace. And I think as a new member getting into the organization in Asia Pacific, I know that I need to really establish trusting and meaningful connections with people. And the question is how. So I tried a few things, and I would love to share a few that I feel it's quite effective. So I think first at work, definitely, I believe bring your authenticity is really helpful. Making the opportunity to let people know you and genuinely being curiosity to know people as a human being. I think that to me is the first and must happen step. And then I think we have to establish connections, not necessarily only at work, but also outside of the work. And I see my colleagues have different ways of connecting, like through the sports, through other shared interests. But my way is a little bit unique. That is that I decided to took a part-time master education at CU Hong Kong in public health, Chinese University of Hong Kong. So the primary reason I decided to take the program was really to gain a deeper understanding of how the healthcare system operates and how the policies actually work. And I absolutely achieved that goal. But the incredible added benefit was really the relationship that I was able to build along the way. So many of my classmates were doctors, nurse practitioners, and other healthcare professionals. And through engaging with them in the in-class discussions and connecting outside of classroom, that I get invaluable insights about the healthcare system in that region, and also connecting with them and establishing, I'm meeting new friends basically. So they invited me to many of the healthcare association programs that creates a new channel for me to meet with the leaders in this industry and field. So I think it was really amazing. And I think beyond that, I would say working in Asia, because it's very diverse and every country has its own culture. So what I found is really helpful to me is really show your deep respect to the cultural and local traditions. Just a side example. For example, in Thailand, sometimes it is almost a customary to invite monks to offer a blessing during a company's opening ceremony. I think it sometimes will sounds unfamiliar to us at the very beginning, but I think to us, to me at least, I was able to participating and really learn from it and respecting the ceremony. And I think it was really a meaningful process and able to foster and strengthen my connections with my local Thai team. So I think that sort of experience to me is very helpful and unique.
Those are exceptional offerings and examples. I know when we chatted before, you talked about going to school as one of your tactics or strategies. I was blown away. I never thought what I'll do is I'll go overseas and I'll start a new program and I'll learn, and then by that I'll also meet all these people and then become colleagues and friends. And I thought, well, it's already hard enough. But then I realized, well, actually, it's a really good strategy because you're going to meet a lot of people, and at the same time, you're learning about the industry that you're learning about. I thought it was a pretty brilliant move. So I definitely took note of that. I think many people should take note of that one. So thank you for that, Yin. So obviously, we have lots of students here and alumni, and they're really interested in working in Asia. We have global immersions where many people are going to Asia throughout the year. It's a very attractive, heavily applied to program through those global immersions. But given that so many alumni do want to work and take on opportunities in Asia, and you've had a lot of experience in Asia, what advice would you like to offer them, particularly for those that are maybe their first time entering into that type of market and trying to learn about it?
Yeah, sure. I think first of all, I think everyone here are very capable. So I'm not worrying at all about the skill sets that is required to perform well in Asia or other countries. But I would really urge you to, if you want to work abroad, really urge you to approach the opportunity with an open mind and willingness to adapt, and really taking the time to understand and respect the differences. And I think this is really the key to, build a trusting relationship and making a meaningful impact. And I think the second thing I would say is definitely leveraging the network here, especially UCLA Anderson. It has so many resources that we can leverage and learn from. And also, there are so many alums who has experience and share the same passion with. So I think that is great opportunity that you should really tap into that network to gain insights and explore your own opportunities. And I think also industry is another consideration, because if you really want to have more opportunities working across the globe, then you might want to identify industry that with the most opportunities for global professionals, as some of them has a global nature, for example, healthcare, and in the past, finance, for example. So I think really set the realistic expectation and understand, hey, what is the industry that might have more opportunity around that? And I think, another thing, probably if you have extra time, then learning some local languages could help. Even some basics can really help with the transition and getting more immersed experience with the local culture and get into to meeting new friends and from the local places.
Great. That's all fantastic advice, Yen. I really appreciate you sharing that with all of our students, our alumni, and the guests that are listening in. This point, really want to just thank you for this, conclude our series for our recorded session here.